Hello, David.
Hello, Nadira.
Now the question, David, is how risk can be managed at interfaces between multiple functions or across the supply chain or with contractors or partners?
Interfaces are places of particular risk because often you have a different understanding of what's going on either side of the interface. So a supplier may think that they're providing a component to the organization or to the project for a particular reason, and maybe it needs a particular level of quality or a delivery date, has some flexibility. On the other side, the organization may have a different view. It may say, we need this urgently, we need the highest possible quality, and so there's a misunderstanding across the interface. Or something is prepared which doesn't quite meet the requirement, or the requirement changes without understanding the impact it can have on the other side of the interface. Often you'll find within disciplines within an organization, perhaps a change is introduced in the IT department and will just require everybody to update their passwords every month or every week instead of whenever they'd like to. And it's a simple change from the IT people, but it causes chaos across the projects where we have contractors coming and going and people are passing on work across desktops and so on. And suddenly all the passwords change and nobody knows how to access their information anymore. So without being aware of the impact, interfaces are always risky. So how can we manage risk across interfaces? That's a very important part of the risk challenge for any organization. And it's interfaces within the organization, across functions and departments, but also the organization and outside the organization and suppliers and subcontractors, and maybe also clients and users. So the first thing which we need to have is a common understanding. We both need to know what we're aiming at, common objectives, and a common understanding of risk. So going back to risk as uncertainty that matters, I have to know what matters to you across the interface, and you have to know what matters to me across the interface, because that will frame our view of what the risks are. So what matters to you as a supplier is to have reliable work, to have the next job coming along when this job finishes, to improve your reputation as a reliable, as a consistent, good, high-quality supplier. What matters for me is to get what I need when I need it and make sure it works. I don't care about your reputation, and I don't care about your next job. I care about this. And you have to understand that. So when we're talking across the interface, we have an understanding of why this bothers you. Why are you concerned about the next job? We haven't done this one yet. And I need to understand that. And you need to understand my driver for an immediate answer just on this project, and this is where my focus is. So the first thing is to have a common understanding of objectives. And the second thing is to have a common language across the interface when we're talking about risk. So if on my side of the interface I understand that risk includes bad things and good things, threats and opportunities, and on your side of the interface you only think that all risk is bad, you're only thinking about threats, and I start asking you to think about the ways that we can improve productivity, work faster, smarter, cheaper, to introduce opportunities in our collaboration together, and I expect to see that in the risk register, and you don't understand that, then we're immediately going to have a problem. So we need to have that shared understanding, not just of the objectives of what we're trying to do together, of our collaboration across the interface, but a shared understanding of risk as well. We both know what risk is, we both are aiming at the same thing. And then we need to have clear and open communication channels. So we're aiming at the same thing, we're talking the same language, then we need to have clear communication where you can tell me anything, I can tell you anything, and there's no barrier, there's no hindrance to our communication. And this perhaps is the biggest challenge in all interface management, is the sense that you can't completely trust the person on the other side. They're not being completely honest with you. And so it is important across interfaces that we build trusting relationships, that we have that integrity and honesty and mutual respect between the people who are running both sides of the interface, so that they're comfortable to share risks with each other because we have shared objectives and shared language and shared understanding. So sometimes you'll find that people are not prepared to tell the people on the other side of the interface what their risks are because they think it will make them look bad, it will mean that they're not going to be respected so much. If we understand that risks happen, that risks exist to be managed, we have a shared objective in managing the risk across the interface, then I don't worry about telling you I'm having a problem with something, because I know you understand that and we both want to succeed and we'll work together to make it happen. So that trusting relationship, I think, is the most important thing of all.
Excellent, David. Thank you very much.
Thank you.